Do you ever find yourself overcomplicating what you need to do? If you're one of those people, today's video is going to be specifically for you. I'm Dr. Jeff Cumro here at Better Life Chiropractic and Wellness. And ultimately, what we work on is getting neurological and metabolic health as optimized as possible. And when we have that, it doesn't matter what kind of environment we're put in, we can get the output that we need. So I was working with somebody the other day on a math issue. They have trouble seeing the math in their head. And we worked on just making the math easier than what it needs to be. And just an example of that, if you've got, I got to get hold on here. Let me get the right setup. There we go. So if you've got 85 times 4, it's not the easiest to carry the 2 over and multiply everything and then add it all up and all of those different things. So what we worked on is how you could change this to either 90 times 4, and then, so you'd have to add 5 to this, right? So you'd have to subtract, 5 times 4 over here to get the answer right. So you got your, 360 minus 20 equals 340. Same thing. And it doesn't matter if you do it that way or if you work easier with 4 or with 100 times 4. Again, that way you'd have to have 15 different. So you'd have minus 15 times 4 over here, and you still get the same math. It doesn't matter. You've got 400 minus 60 equals 340 either way. The answers are there. They're easy. But I see this same thing throughout health, and it doesn't matter if we're talking about neurological health, if we're talking about learning, if we're talking about success in general in anything. A lot of times people tend to overcomplicate this. Example of this. How many times have I been asked, what kind of exercise should I do? Okay, a squat would be a great exercise for you. Okay, what kind of squat should I do? Should I do, a regular squat? Should I do a sumo squat? Should I do a split squat? Should I do a front squat? Should I do a hack squat? Should I use the leg press? Maybe the Smith machine? You start making this more difficult than it really needs to be. And ultimately what we need is information. So you try one of those and you get an output. And when you get that output, you can say, this is exactly what I needed, or hey, this didn't give me quite exactly what I needed. Maybe I need to build a little variance strength through different ranges of motion. Then maybe this one's going to be a better fit for me, and you try that one. But we make it harder than it needs to be. Another example is dietarily. How many times do we do different diets, and the diets are just they're not reasonable for real life. If you look at the keto diet or the low carb diet or the Atkins diet or any of the diets out there, any of the fad diets, the reason that they don't last is because they're not sustainable. They're not real life. We're doing something and it works for most people, right? There's a lot of people that see success on fad diets, but it's not sustainable because it's not easy. We're not making this as easy as it needs to be. And it's difficult to sit back and say, this is where you should, because I do the same thing, and that's not something. Health is easy for me. That's something that I've studied. It's something I love. It's something I have no problems with. But when I look at business, for example, there are so many things that I know that I'm overcomplicating, and I'm like, all right, maybe I should try this and see how that works. And I am trying those different things. Is it working the way that I want it to? Not yet, but sooner or later, if I try enough of those things, it's going to work. And once I have that skill, once I have that knowledge, once I have that experience, then I can take what I need from that and I can reapply it, right? Same thing with parenting. Parenting for me, very, very difficult, right? It's something I've never done. It's something nobody teaches us, any things like that. And I don't do as well as I think I should in many experiences. But you try something, you put something out there, and if it doesn't work right, then you try something else. And do I make mistakes? Absolutely. There is 100% no doubt that I make mistakes in that. But as long as you're taking chances on this, as long as you're doing things to move yourself forward and you're trying and you're not continually doing the same thing over and over again, you're going to get success. So what I challenge you to do is look at your life and what areas are you struggling, and look at how you're viewing that area. Are you looking at it as something where I have to know every single step of the process? You don't need the full trajectory of your trip. You don't have to make this type of jump on the first step. You can make this kind of jump. You could even make this kind of jump and then this kind of jump, right? Some of the steps we take don't lead us forward, but sometimes those sideways steps will lead us forward on the next thing because we learned something from that. So don't worry about having the whole picture of where you need to be. And January is a difficult time for a lot of people. You see a lot of people that start at the gym on January 1st. The people that are there all year tend to have a little bit more trouble the first 2 weeks of the year because the gym is packed and they're frustrated because it's everybody that hasn't been there trying to use equipment and everything like that. And it's a good thing. We should celebrate that. We should give people like that support, right? We need to be better about supporting others through this thing. But it doesn't matter, right? The first 2 weeks, people get frustrated and they quit. That's not the goal. It's not to go up there and run 5 miles on your first day. It's to go up and be better each single day, or to go up there and get information each single day. Not every workout is a good workout. Not every meal is a good meal. Not every test is a good result. Everything we do, we get information on were we prepared, how's our body performing, what can we do better on that next thing. So if you're in this boat, look at life, see where you're struggling the most, see what kind of action you're taking. How can you simplify this to get an easier picture of what you need to do? You don't have to have the full picture, you just need that next step. So I hope that this helps you. If it does, please like or subscribe. It gives me good information as far as what you need to help you move forward. Health is something I love to talk about. I'm going to continue sharing stuff. So if I have more information as far as what's working for you, I can share more of that type of stuff. So as always, I love and appreciate you. I know your time and attention are the most valuable resources you have, and I appreciate you spending some of that with me. I will catch you on next week's video.